start out, Tom told us that you guys are in Justin's fifth year, actually.
Yeah.
Not a lot to say there, but he also said that you guys are not going to be picking up Kenneth's fifth year. Just thought process there.
Yeah, just echoing what Tom said, just about the cap and stuff like that. We have the utmost respect for Kenneth Murray. He's a very important player to our team, and I love coaching him. We love having him, and we're expecting big things from him this season.
So just with the picks, can you just walk us through Tuli and Daiyan, just what you guys liked about those players?
Yeah, Tuli's just, he's one of the most productive players in college football. 13 and a half sacks and, second in tackle for loss in the NCAA, and, one of the top players in the country on defense, and has a lot of the characteristics that we think translate to playing championship defense. He's really tough and rugged at the point of attack. He's versatile. He can rush from the outside and from the inside. He's got versatility that way. And he's got the play style that we're really attracted to. So he was here at our local pro day, got to know him a little bit even better. And he's a guy that just really grew on us in the process, and very excited to add him to our group.
During his video conference with us, he said that he wasn't watching the draft because he didn't care where he was selected because anywhere he goes, he has to work hard and earn a role.
Yeah.
Plus, he said he'd be willing to play special teams just to get out there and help. So what does that kind of say about who he is character-wise?
Yeah, Lindsay, I think he's got that ultimate competitive character, the play style. His brother plays for the Eagles. His cousin is an outstanding player for the Niners. And I think he's just been raised in that environment, where football is life. And the rest is just details. He's focused on his craft and being as good as he can be. And when he came to the local pro day, that was the impression he gave us, is how focused he is, how driven he is. And we've wanted to join up with those types of guys. You guys met Quentin, and he's the same way. Daiyan's the same way. These guys are incredibly driven. They're very focused. Football is so important to them, and then they have the play style that we're really attracted to. They're very, very physical. Tuli is a very natural player, and he's natural in a lot of different places, and that's why he makes so many plays. And the same thing with Daiyan. Daiyan's one of the top special teams players in the draft, and first team All Pac-12 at Washington State, a guy that can really run. He's a true low 4.5 guy, 36-inch vertical, and so. We enjoy, same thing. He was at our local pro day and got to know him even better. Spent a lot of time with, Derek Ansley, Jeff Howard, myself, our staff, and, just really feel good about him and him adding a lot of depth and quality to our defense and to our special teams.
How much do you feel like he could learn from a guy like Eric Hendricks?
Oh, man, what a wealth of knowledge. I think the same for Tuli. Tuli, they're two of the type of guys that will be able to soak all that up from a Joey Bosa and a Khalil Mack, and then, in Daiyan's case from an Eric Hendricks, and then, Kenneth Murray's going into, his, fourth year playing. So there's a lot of wisdom there. So I know they'll take full advantage of it. And again, I think they're going to fit really well with our football team.
His versatility, is that one of the things that impressed you guys about him?
Daiyan? Yeah. I think the special teams value too, just to be a dynamic playmaker, four-core player, and then a guy that we think, eventually, at linebacker, if you take a look at his, last year at Washington State, I think in the run game, pass coverage, and then he was an outstanding rusher, had 5 sacks his last year there. And so, anytime you can get a 3-down linebacker that can really run, we feel like that's a really tough thing to find nowadays. So, very excited about the pick. Tuli was very quiet, and Daiyan, there was a lot going on. I think it's really awesome, 2 Southern California guys to get drafted by their home team. I can't imagine there being anything better than that. When we had Chenna here, I know how special that is. So to grow up right down the road and to see a dream come true close by where your family can really be a part of your journey, I think it's amazing. And again, I think getting to know both of those guys up close and personal was a cool part of the process.
It's a rarity to get two guys, especially second, third round selected, that you invited to a local pro day. I mean, have you seen situations throughout the league where even in an entire draft class you get 2 from that day?
Well, I know Southern California is one of the premier places in the country to play football, and I know the top 2 players in the draft are from California, and so I mean, being here 3 years, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. I'm from Northeast Ohio, one of the special places in the country for football. But Southern California, that's taken it to a different level. So that's since I've been the head coach here, local pro day has been really good to us. Last year, Tito was here, and that was something that was really impressive to us, was spending time with him. So it's one of those things that's a part of the process. And, these two guys really, I thought, took advantage of their opportunity in that setting.
You and Tom both mentioned Tuli's versatility to play on the edge and on the interior. At his size, is he more of like a third down, known pass interior guy, or do you feel like he could play there?
Yeah, he played. I mean, he played everywhere for SC, inside and outside. So he's kind of in that mold of like a Zadarius Smith, where he can play outside, on early downs and then go inside and rush the passer. So, but he played inside for SC as well. So I mean, he's just a rugged, tough player, and he's a lot of this, he's a lot of that, and that's what makes him a really unique player. And he's a natural player, and that's why he makes so many plays, because he's not just doing it on the edge, and he's not just doing it inside. He's doing it from everywhere. And so when you're winning like that consistently, that means you're a damn good football player, and that's what he is.
Is Daiyan like a good challenge for a spot right away?
Lindsay, I think he's going to have to earn his way. I mean, we really like our linebacker room. I think he's got a lot of ability, but there's a lot to learn, especially an inside linebacker. There's a lot to see in the pro game that's different, and there's a transition there. So we just want him to come in here and compete. We think he's got a lot of good things to work with, but I think he really upgrades our athleticism at that position. And again, I think he'll be fantastic on special teams.
He's strictly a linebacker, right? Because he had played like safety and nickel with Nevada earlier, but strictly a linebacker?
He's a linebacker,
Okay.
yeah.
I know you guys have met him at the combine, but now getting Quentin here in person, getting to talk to him, getting to meet him, what was that like for you today?
It was exciting to see him in person. It'd been since February, and then to see him be the same guy. You go through a process, you get drafted in the first round, to see that that's the same guy that we met, that's the same guy that we've heard about. As I told you guys, this guy's got real size, and that stands out in person. But it's just, I think more than anything, it's just who he is as a person. I think he's just, his makeup is, off the charts, and we're so excited to join up with someone like him, and he's been working hard, and I'm just excited for him to get here with the group and start working.
With both players tonight, and then maybe Quentin as well, how much do you have to balance like the long-term view of the team? Like there's a lot of hype for tonight, but just focusing long-term, what they could provide maybe in 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, Eric, I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, you're signing a rookie for 4 or 5 years. That's the vision, and so there's different paths for everybody in terms of how quickly people play and what their role is. Maybe, hey, this is what I thought his role would be, and then, hey, there's some things happen, and this is what it becomes. And you guys seen it since I've been the head coach. There's some guys, that don't play very much at all, and then midway through the year after your bye, then they play a whole bunch down the stretch. And so I think that light goes on at different points for players, and this is a developmental game. And so we definitely have that long-term path, and I think that's why it's important to be connected, personnel and coaching, and really be aligned in your vision for the role and how you're going to utilize them. But I think all 3 of these guys fit what we want in a football player at their positions, and that's why we feel really good about all 3 of these guys.
With Tuli, with Alex's scheme, what was the biggest difference that allowed the sacks and the tackles for loss to really jump up?
I think it's just the matchup. I think, being able to play in a lot of different places. He was on the move. He's got real power for the outside. And then inside, he's got real quickness, that's hard to deal with. And so when you can play in both places, you can get on the right matchup and then really expose it. Hey, there's a tackle that's light or doesn't anchor very well, and then, hey, I can go to work on this guy. Or, hey, they've got some interior players that don't move very well. Hey, I can move inside. And so, the big thing is he can kick ass on early downs because he's so physical, at the point of attack. And that's what we're looking for, is guys that are really physical at the point of attack and that can make plays. And then, the thing that kind of gives him an edge over a lot of guys is he can rush inside. And, that's why you've seen guys like Zadarius Smith or Pernell McPhee, who I coached, guys like Trey Flowers, guys that kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They can really be matchup guys, but he's a point of attack player And he makes a lot of plays in all those different places. And I think, that's something that's real. That sack production and those tackle for losses, I mean, that's all real production, playing in the Pac-12. And that's 3 years worth of production. And I know Tom talked about it. I mean, he's only 20 years old. So his best ball is in front of him. And we're really excited to join up with this guy.
Both guys that you would describe as violent hitters?
Yeah, play style guys. When I say play style, that's what I'm talking about. Rugged, tough football players.
Just watching a quick video montage of Daiyan's some interviews he's done with Cody in the past. Seems kind of memorable. Just wondering if during the interview process with you guys, he said anything that you particularly remember about playing or.
I think he's got a lot of confidence. I think you can see that he's very confident. There's not anything that's too big for him. I think when he takes the field, I think he believes in himself, and he's got that mentality that he's a dog and that he's going to make something happen. And so, we feel like we need that, and that's how you win championships, is with players like that. So I'm excited to add him to our group, and I know how much football means to both these guys, really all three of them, and I think they're going to be great fits for the Chargers.
He's only been there at linebacker for a little bit, but what stands out to you more, his intelligence or his instincts?
I think he's a complete player. I think you've seen it here with the Chargers with Kaiser and Drew, more converted safeties that go to linebacker, and that really give you a different physical dimension because of their speed, and it helps you immensely in the kicking game. And so I think when you've seen the picture from a safety perspective, and Daiyan was a tremendous receiver too, coming out of high school. When you've seen the bigger picture, I think it helps you, and the fact that he has that physicality and toughness to play blocks in the core, because what's different is the closer you get to the ball, things are happening quicker. And so for him to go into linebacker and then be the playmaker that he was, and then the blitzing to me is a big winning edge for him, because he can rush. He can get on a linebacker, get on a running back, and make things happen.
He was a quarterback throughout high school too. Does he still, when playing defense, kind of see games?
Yeah, he was kind of taking us through that, at the pro day, of being an offensive player and then going to Nevada and playing on defense, and kind of where he started out and then where he ended up. And it's that sometimes that happens as a player. You think you're going one way and then you do something else, and I think that just shows you what a football player he is. And but I think where the game is now, you need guys who can play in space. You need guys that can match up, and you need guys that are violent hitters. And if you can get it, that's something now you don't see as much of the contact from players the farther that you move away from the ball. The linebacker, DB position now aren't as much contact positions as the way it used to be. So when you can find somebody that has that contact ability, it's important.